All right, and welcome back to another episode of the Crimson Podcast, and I am finally back on the question end of it. I'm your host, Ari Rosen, alongside my co-host, Andrew Trop, and today we have two football captains, Terrence Hanratty and Max Austin. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, all right, you want to get it started?
Yep. All right, so regular season's over, right? We're getting ready for the playoffs. First game is tomorrow. But there's still so much talk about last year's team. Let's try to get away from that and focus on this year's team. What makes this year's team so special? What do you guys think, makes this team better than last year? Does it, or like what makes it so great?
I agree. I think there's a lot of talk about the last team. They set a good path for us, good example. We watched them go to work. A lot of the younger kids, this is their first year on the varsity field, so they got to watch amazing players ahead of them that ended up going to college and taking their talents to the next level. And I just feel we watched them do it, and we know what the drill is, and we've been there before. We've been to the state championship. We've seen a win happen. We know what it takes, and I think through watching experience, we can take down the field like we have.
So you said you guys watched the team last year. How have you guys learned from last year's captains, and you guys are captains, and how have you applied that to this year's younger team? We're a young team, so how have you guys taught the younger kids how to do it, how to succeed?
Just lead by example mainly.
Like that. Yeah.
And so this was also the hardest schedule in team history, when we're undefeated and we were doubted. And how have you guys worked so hard to make sure that this season has stayed so well and gone undefeated?
I feel like a common trend in Berners football is all the reporters and the other towns are doubting us always. Even last year when we were undefeated and made it to state championship, we were taken in almost every game to lose. And I think our biggest games, Summit and other games like Hillside, we were taken to lose again this year. And we just proved them wrong. We showed them that we outwork teams, we out-prepare teams, and we out-scheme them. And a lot of that comes from, like you said, the captains leading by example, but most of the coaches preparing. The preparation is on top tier.
Everyone picking against us kind of gave us more motivation to kind of work harder in practice, work harder in the off season. Everyone told us we wouldn't be last year's team. We were going to go 6-2, lose many big games, but that wasn't the case.
You mentioned preparation. Going into tomorrow, do you feel any more prepared than you would have last year because of that? History, having gone through what you guys did last year, do you feel better going into next game than you would have last year, or is it same feeling?
I think atmosphere-wise, like we played in big crowds, loud stadiums. I remember on the 4th and 3rd down at Lakeland, Max and I were covering the sideline, and it was crazy loud from both sides in the center of the field. And I think we're ready for that. I don't think teams that we played have experienced that yet, so I think we're prepared for that. But on the football scheme of things, we know how to take a team's biggest and baddest player and attack them mentally and physically. I think we did a good job of that last year against Ramsey, and I think we'll do a good job against Rutherford as well.
I don't think this is any different than last year's team and even previous years, as Berners is generally comfortable with getting into the playoffs. It's just the later games that were new to us last year. But certainly first round shouldn't be an issue.
So how will this team achieve the results you guys want, and what needs to happen in order for you guys to do that?
I think everyone just needs to buy in. I think buy-in and lock-in is just like simple as that. I think there's a lot of other things going on with the team that is distracting, and we need to just focus on one game at a time. I think we had very successful games and very successful game plans that if we follow, we will be successful. There's no special tricks or special sauce to our madness. It's all just physical and intelligent football we play.
I think it's just treating every week like it's a Hillside or Summit week, coming in, getting prepared, watching film, and just only focusing on that for the whole week, not taking any team lightly.
You mentioned the atmosphere of last year's playoff games. Playing on Olcott tomorrow. First of all, how much does that mean to be able to have more home games in your senior season? Being able to play in front of the home crowd more and more times. And then second of all, how much does that atmosphere pump you up and get you ready to make big tackles, make big plays?
The most, I think the most, hypes me up the most. Walking down past the grill, seeing Mr. Caldwell grilling up some hot dogs gets me fired up. I see the whole parents in the snack shack and in the student section, Mrs. Bobnowski, I can hear from anywhere on the field throughout any time of the game. It's just nothing like it. I know we got the track, it looks great, the turf looks awesome. It looks like a professional football team is coming here and coming to play.
And the best is walking up from the back of the high school up the steps and then just standing there with Sim, getting ready to go out in front of the whole town.
And, you guys have mentioned your Hillside Week and Summit Week. Do you guys have a favorite memory from the season, something that really stands out in particular?
My favorite is Max on the sideline against Summit. I remember Lakeland, they kept shooting for the sideline to get out and stop the clock, and I was pointing over there. Max was coming up and defended it, and I just couldn't even believe it. That was it. Like, that was the end of the game. They spiked it on third down. It just happened so fast, and Sim hit a nice kick, celebration, and it was just like surreal that we took down the big dogs of Summit.
Mine's definitely my pick 6 versus Hillside.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Appreciate it.
So now let's fast forward to 2 or 3 months from now. When you're looking back on the end of the season, what has to happen in these next few weeks in order for you to look back at it and say, that was a successful year? I think we did what we should have done, and I'm happy with it.
Make it to the group finals. We've never been there before. We won a section, so if we do that again, yeah, it'll be nice. But it's going to be like the 2023 season. We want to separate ourselves from that team by winning the semis, the North Bowl, and making it to Rutgers.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need some revenge on Westwood, and we need to make it to the North, be Kings of the North. That'd be a nice shirt to have for everyone in the school, Kings of the North.
And Max, you mentioned Rutgers, and our freshman year, we beat Hillside in a game we weren't supposed to win, and that kind of started our football careers off. So how, with a potential state championship at Rutgers, how cool would that be to end our career, end your careers at Rutgers with the same place where our careers started off?
Like a full circle moment, but also just playing at Rutgers itself is a great experience. Walking down the tunnel, you feel like a professional team running out into the field. Just the huge stadium, the huge environment, huge stakes. All the media's there covering it. You feel like it's not really a high school game; it's something more.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for coming on. And before we end, is there anything that we missed? Anything you guys want to tell the viewers? Anything about the football team this week, in the coming weeks?
Get there before 7 o'clock Friday.
Yeah, come out, watch the team. The fans bring a lot of energy, and it really helps us out in the field.
All right, thank you so much for listening. I'm Ari Rosen alongside my co-host Andrew Trop. Thank you guys so much for coming on, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Good luck.